I think we should all take a moment to recognise just how ridiculous this story is. I don't follow NASCAR, so I don't know anything about the people involved in this, but just by what we're being told by the Associated Press here, really goes to show the phenomenal depth of political correctness in American society. Conor Daly loses Lilly Diabetes sponsorship over a remark his father made over 30 years ago, which, just so you know, was before he was even born. They pulled their sponsorship of his NASCAR Xfinity race, citing a racially insensitive remark made by the driver's father in the 1980s that just happened to resurface this week. And it's not just political correctness, of course. It's the foot soldiers of political correctness that make it what it is. We are talking the Twitter outrage mob. Lilly said in a statement Friday that its sponsorship was intended to raise awareness for treatment options and resources for people living with diabetes. Unfortunately, the comments that surfaced this week by Derek Daly distract from this focus, so we have made the decision that Lilly Diabetes will no longer run the number 6 at Road America this weekend. What? In no way does a comment made in the 1980s distract from you advertising on a sports car today. It's in no way preventing you from raising awareness for treatment options and resources for people living with diabetes. This is ridiculous. This is just an absurd thing to do to someone. Someone who wasn't involved in the alleged incident at all because they weren't even born. So the guy's father said that he admitted to using a racial slur for African Americans during a radio interview in the early 1980s. He had just moved to the United States and the term had a different meaning and connotation in his native Ireland. He said he was mortified when he learned how the term was used in the United States and never since used it. He said, "I want everyone to know that I deeply regret and sincerely apologise for what I said more than 3 decades ago." Isn't that just the most absurd thing you've ever read? Please don't punish my son for something I said 30 years ago that I didn't really know was that bad because I'm not even from this country. That's such a ridiculous and phenomenally unreasonable thing for the man to have to do, for them to carry on and simply pull their sponsorship from his son, again, a person unrelated to the incident in question. It's just unreasonable. No reasonable person is going to say, well, this is definitely something the son should have to pay for now. The sins of this father, as grave as they are definitely something that 30 years down the line have to echo in the son's career. I don't even care if this guy's like some phenomenal racist. Until he says or does something himself, I don't think we should be punishing him for the things that his father did, even if his father had said these things yesterday. This is what Jordan Peterson is saying when he speaks about the left going too far. This is a consequence of left-wing philosophy. This is what happens when the left have cultural hegemony over your country. You have to stay in line with political correctness. And if tomorrow something surfaced that was un-PC and it was made by the wrong person and it was made at the wrong time and you happen to be tangentially related to them, then you could feel the consequences. It is not fair that this man suffers for something someone else did. This is unreasonable. This is a prime example of how things go too far. Lilly Diabetes is being ridiculous. And if there were far-left activists to seize on this, and I haven't seen any evidence that they have, which just goes to show you how ridiculous this idea is, but even if they have seized on this, there's no way that the Joe public is watching them attack you for something his father said and complaining that you don't pull his adverts from him. There is no way the regular person thinks that's a just outcome. You do not have to pander to these people to this extreme. It is absurd.